I'm Hugh Buckley. I was born in Souk. There weren't many people born in Souk of my generation. I lived there until I was 6 years old, and then we moved to Victoria, and then we moved to England in 1937. My interviewing officer said to me, "Why do you want to join the army?" And I thought, oh gosh, I got to find a suitable answer for that. And then he said, "Are you prepared to die for your king and country?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You're entered." He said, "Providing you pass the medical." So I joined the Armored Corps. They attached me to the Sherbrooke Fusiliers. And I'm not sure why, but it was a French-Canadian regiment. And I thought that's probably, I had an English accent by that time. So I think it was sort of a sense of humor. But anyway, the invasion was coming, and I thought I can't miss that. So I joined the Canadian Army in England. And they put me in the reconnaissance troop, which were very light tanks. They were the Stuart tank. And I was a gunner operator. So then I was with them on D-Day. And we departed from Southampton, and it was very impressive because crossing the channel. And we woke up in the morning, and there were, thousands of ships from. And the reassuring thing was there's no way anybody could stop this invasion. It just, once it got going, there was so much of it. As we approached the shore, of course, it got very noisy. There's a lot of battleships were firing their guns, and fortunately, we were delayed because it was very rough. We were supposed to land in support of the infantry. Unfortunately, we were delayed by about 3 hours, and they had to go up those beaches without tank support, which was very unfortunate for them. That improved their casualties were quite heavy. By the time I landed, the beaches were free. There were dead bodies around, but we were not fired upon heavily. Some very light fire. Now, our job, we had been told that our target was the city of Caen, and that was to be taken in 24 hours. The arrowhead was Canadian. And I say to myself, I think the reason it was because every Canadian soldier there was a volunteer. And we being in the reconnaissance part, our job was to secure a harbor for the regiment. And the preferential harbor was Carpiquet Airport. He said, halted the tank. We were on a sort of slope, and he said, "I can see the airport." He said, well, let's go home. We'll be reported in person. And we then headed back to the coast. I think historically now, when I got told the history of where all these things happened, that in fact, nobody got that far that day than our little tank. our defense was speed. We came back down the road. We were now this time going back, we thought things would be clear going back. We didn't realize we were behind the German lines and farther behind than I realized at that time. And it wasn't till I met the historian that I realized we had passed their headquarters, actually. Future generations of Canadians. That's quite an emotional thing to say. Well, future generations of Canadians, first of all, I would like all Canadian youth to know the history of the invasion and the role that Canada played in that invasion. And it was a very critical role, a very important role, and was one of leadership and of dedication. When you're faced with death, possibly any day, you do change your view on life, I must say. Lucky. Oh, God, yes. Oh, no, God was very good to me. I was a survivor, yes.